when I was a young reporter in Atlanta, I had done some stories out of the CDC. And I thought it was the greatest public agency I'd ever encountered. And the people who worked there were noble and brave. I just really was just full of admiration. And the Ridley Scott, the filmmaker, had asked me to write a screenplay about the end of civilization. It's a typical Ridley pursuit. And I thought, well, what would it be? Like an atomic weapon or something like that. And then I thought, well, a pandemic would, because I had, there was a big swine flu scare that I covered as a young reporter that was the same flu that caused the 1918 flu. And it turned out not to be a pandemic flu then. It later became so, and it was not one of our more dangerous pandemics, but it awakened in my mind, the danger of, something like 1918 flu returning with far more concentrated transportation, really fast. The whole world could be infected simultaneously, and and I started researching it, and I realized that we really were terribly underprepared. And Ridley didn't make the movie. He says he's going to now, but I thought it's a good story, and a lot of screenwriters feel the same way about their unmade projects. But I decided I was going to write it as a novel, and I thought, the reason it wasn't Ridley's fault. I hadn't solved the story for the screenplay, and the reason was I hadn't done the right amount of research, and so I just started researching it, and the more I talked to experts, the more I realized that we were really in peril, and they all felt that something like 1918 would come again. And one of the guys that I interviewed at the NIH was Barney Graham. He was in the National Institute of Allergies and Infectious Diseases, which is Dr. Fauci's shop. And I needed him to help me design a virus. He was, the premier immunologist, and I wanted him to help me create a virus that would be very dangerous, and he did. And then I realized towards the end of the book, I had to have him cure it too. So Barney helped me do both of those things. And then he's the guy that invented the vaccine for COVID-19. He and Jason McClellan, they invented the vaccine in 3 days. They had been working on coronavirus vaccines for, other forms of it. So those guys deserve the Nobel Prize. But it was people like Barney that made themselves available to me, helped me understand the nature of our distress and how public health has so fallen from support in America, and that we were terribly in danger.